Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! The Cowboys win it! Woo! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode number 34, I believe we are, lads. Hope everyone's doing extremely well on this beautiful Tuesday evening, 8:05 p.m. And the first thing I want to do before I get into tonight's live stream, I want to give a shout out to All Out Chamber for making me that phenomenal brand new intro. All Out Chamber made that intro this afternoon, so shout out to All Out Chamber for that outstanding work from him. Well done, mate. Appreciate the new intro. But as always on the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, shout out to everyone in the live chat and welcome ProEnzo, Vidz, and Sam REVILL, lads. How are we, Sam, ProEnzo? How's it going?
Very well, mate. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, mate. ProEnzo, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, bro. Keen to rip in.
Also, I want to give a shout out to you, ProEnzo, for making the brand new thumbnail for the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast. That was very creative of you as well. Bit of an upgrade tonight, mate. Great work on the thumbnail.
No worries. I think we needed one actually because we had all the old logos still and everything. So time for a change.
Everything was a bit all over the place, but it's good for a bit of a change here and there. It really is. But yeah, it's always good fun. But guys, it is 8:06 p.m. here in New South Wales. What'll be January 25th, 2022, right here on YouTube.com. And if you guys are new to the channel around here, make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, like the live stream. Go and check out the YouTube channels of ProEnzo, Vidz, and Sam REVILL. And most importantly, smash the subscribe button. I don't care if you headbutt it. I don't care if your nails need doing. Smash the subscribe button. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. I'm trying to catch a live chat, but there's that many people here. Everyone's talking about the new intro and everything, but chat's going berserk. I can't keep up with it all. But let's rip into it, guys. We are 44 days away until the NRL season gets underway once again. We're not far away. But before we get into tonight's podcast, in case you guys missed it, I'm going to rerun the intro once again for everyone that didn't see it at the start. So, guys, this is the new intro for the Nick from Australia YouTube channel. Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! All right, guys, that's the new intro, and I hope everyone enjoyed that. It's I can't imagine how long All Out Chamber took to do that. So shout out to him once again for doing that. But without further ado, let's get into tonight's podcast, and we're going to start off with the first topic, which I'm just going to put on the screen right here, down the bottom there. Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode 34. Let's rip into it. The Dolphins have done some more signings, obviously. We spoke a bit about this on the late night show on Saturday night. The Dolphins picking up Mark Nichols and Jesse Bromwich. I want to start with you, Sam, mate. Which one of these front rowers out of Nichols and Bromwich do you think is going to have more of an impact at the Dolphins? when they get there in 2023?
Jesse Bromwich, for sure at the moment, but it depends how long Mark Nichols ends up staying with Redcliffe. I like Jesse Bromwich, man. Brings a lot of experience.
What about you, ProEnzo Vidz? Nichols, Bromwich, who do you think will have more of an impact at the Dolphins?
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I think, Bromwich is going to bring that experience and, it could be the inaugural captain for that team. So I think he's a very worth buy.
Yeah, well said. Look, I think Jesse Bromwich is going to have more impact as in terms of off the field experience, leadership, helping the young forwards coming through. But if I'm looking at both of these front rowers right now and I'm thinking about who's going to have more of an impact on the field, I'm probably looking at Mark Nichols here, fellas, because I think Mark Nichols at the moment, based off last year's form, I think he's better than Jesse Bromwich right now. If you're going off last year's form, you guys might not agree with that, but I think Mark Nichols at the moment is probably the better player than Jesse Bromwich. What do you guys think about
that? I agree. I think Nichols has been one of the most improved front rowers, and with Jesse Bromwich, hasn't been really anything fantastic for the last 2 or 3 years. But experience-wise off the field, I think Bromwich is very good in that way. But playing-wise, yeah, Nichols for sure.
Absolutely. Sam, mate, who do you reckon is the better player right now, Nichols or Bromwich?
I think Nichols would have him by a hair. I don't think there's much in it, but I do think Nichols had a better season last year.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. And I can see that we've got a couple trolls in the chat. So, Warriors NRL Fanatics, mate, if you're going to be the moderator, bro, make sure you get rid of these absolute clowns. Obviously, have no life, probably sitting in their mum's basement, probably jerking off to this live stream as we speak. Who knows what they're doing? But, yeah, but back on Bromwich and Nichols, man. The Dolphins so far, obviously, a few of their signings have been a bit underwhelming. But if you have a look at it, Mark Nichols is getting older as well. I think he'll be okay for maybe 2 seasons. But I'll tell you what's going to be quite interesting. Mark Nichols, in the last 2 or 3 years or so, right? He was unbelievable under Wayne Bennett. He looked like $1 million. He was his career was sort of, I guess you could say, he saved his career. He was reborn, and this is the first time in about 2 or 3 years now that Mark Nichols is going to be coached by a different coach. So I wonder if his form will decline a little bit this year, or it will be good once again. Does anyone here think that Mark Nichols' form is going to drop because he's not with Wayne Bennett, or do we all think that Nichols is going to be the same fool that he was last couple of years? I'll start with you, Sam. What do you think?
I trust Jason Demetrio and everything coming out of South Sydney, that the reports are that it's going to be a smooth transition. Mark Nichols, if he has any intention or inkling that he could be a part of the leadership group up there in Redcliffe, he'll take more leadership on this season with South Sydney, be a leader or one of the leaders of that forward pack. And Mark Nichols should do well this season for South Sydney, I reckon, and go up to Redcliffe with a bit more experience under his belt.
No doubt about it. ProEnzo Vidz, what do you reckon, bro?
Well, Bennett's been coaching Nichols for 3 years now, and so is Dimitri as an assistant. So I wouldn't expect much to change, but I guess not having Bennett there may somewhat might be a little bit of a loss for him. But overall, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, well said. Well, I think we all agree that Nichols and Bromwich will be pretty good at the Dolphins. They'll be good signings. I question a bit about Jesse Bromwich as in terms of playing. I think he's getting a bit older, getting a bit slower. I don't think Jesse Bromwich is a top 20 front row at the moment. Nichols, I'd say he's in the top 20 front rowers in the game. Bromwich, I wouldn't say so at the moment, but it's going to be very interesting to see how that all goes about in 2023. Now let's move on to the other bloke who could be going up to the Dolphins, and that's Jesse Bromwich's brother, Kenny Bromwich. Now, Kenny Bromwich could be heading up to the Dolphins as well. There's lots of talk about it. It's a possibility of happening. ProEnzo Vidz, with Jesse Bromwich signing with the Dolphins, do you think this Kenny Bromwich rumor at the moment, do you think he will go to the Dolphins as well with his brother Jesse? What do you reckon will happen here?
Well, despite all reports, it seems like he's already going to go there because it says that he's poised to join Jesse in 2023, and he's off contract at the end of this year with the Melbourne Storm, and so it makes sense for him to actually go there to the Dolphins after all. And there was news also added to that they've re-signed some young back rower for like 5 years or something. So I guess that's another indication that that young guy might step up when Bromwich goes. So I can see it happening. I think it will by next week.
By next week, okay. Interesting call there. ProEnzo. Vidz, what about you, Sam? Will Kenny Bromwich follow his brother Jesse to the Dolphins, or do you reckon he'll stay at Melbourne?
Don't know, mate, but I think Kenny Bromwich has been underrated, or maybe he's just coming out of the shadows so far as being under that category of being underrated. He's a very good footballer, mate, has been for a few seasons now. And wouldn't it be devastating to the Melbourne Storm if he did go? And it'd be an amazing acquisition to have the Bromwich brothers at Redcliffe Dolphins, man. I think it'd be very good, but I don't know if it will eventuate, mate.
See, it's only a rumor. It's hard to really say what's going to happen there, but if Jesse Bromwich is going to the Dolphins, which we all know that's all but happening now, Kenny Bromwich is another player that is a quality player. He's a great leader, experience. He's won a premiership and knows how to do his job. He's won 2 premierships, I should say. He knows how to do his job very well. I don't think any of us here like the Melbourne Storm, but we got to respect what they've done with some of their players, like Kenny Bromwich. He's another one who's, like you said, Sam, has been underrated for a very long time. As in terms of second rowers in the game right now, he would have to be in the top 10 second rowers. If he isn't in the top 10, then he never will be. But Kenny Bromwich is a very underrated player, and if he does go to the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are making a smart move here and getting Kenny Bromwich.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Is there any negative about it? Like following his brother, is that a negative thing, or
he's almost a 5'8", isn't he? The way he plays second row, he's scored a number of tries for Melbourne over the past couple of years as well, and set them up too. Some freakish ones at that as well. Yeah, he plays like a 5'8" and would be a great addition to any side, mate.
Absolutely. Lorenzo, what are your thoughts, bro? I'm just going to go turn this fan off, mate. This fan's literally hitting me right in the eye. It's driving me bananas. Do you think Kenny Bromwich, is there any negative about Kenny Bromwich going to the Dolphins, ProEnzo Vidz?
Well, with their last 2 signings, it's in terms of age, because Kenny is going to be 32, I believe, by next year when he joins the Dolphins, or potentially does. So I guess age is another factor that plays in that signing. But yeah, overall, I can't see too much negatives apart from that.
ProEnzo, man, I didn't know he was 32 years old, mate. I thought he would have been in his late 20s. But Kenny's 32, is that right?
Same.
Wow.
Well, he's 31. He's turning 31 this year, yeah, and then next year 32.
Kenny Bromwich, wow.
I'm just reading the chat. National Sports Photos. The Dolphins want the whole league. Bulldogs staff are sweating. National Sports Loaded, mate. I've got to disagree with you, bro. The Dolphins, they're a new team coming into the NRL. Of course, they're going to be buying everyone. They're going to be looking at every player. So, Bulldogs are sweating. Well, what about the Eels? They've lost everyone.
That's a good point.
Everyone's sweating, I think. It's not just the Bulldogs, bro. No way in the world. Last thing on Kenny Bromwich. What's this? We've got a couple of trolls. I believe no worries, anyone else can sort that out. Age is a bit of a concern with Kenny Bromwich, but are the Dolphins buying too many players, buying too many old players, or do we think it's good for him to go get some hard-earned experience?
Well, first of all, they need to sign players. That's a priority at the moment. They need to sign players, but I guess most of their signings are ones that are like nearly 30 or just hit 30. So, I guess in that way, signing older players may not be the best long term, but for short term, I think so. Just to kick off that club sort of and just bring a bit of experience. I think it can be a good thing, but again, bad thing in long term as well.
Absolutely, ProEnzo. I absolutely agree with you. Right, let's move on to the next topic now, and this is one that good old Sam REVILL wanted to talk about a lot. We spoke about it in the green room beforehand, and we had a chat about it on Instagram the other night, and this is something that Sam really wants to talk about. This Reese Walsh situation. Reese Walsh, again, allegedly homesick. It could all be bullshit. It could all be a fake rumor, but from all reports all over social media, apparently Reese Walsh is homesick He could move to the Dolphins. He could move to the Broncos. Could move back to Queensland somewhere. Sam, the floor is yours with this. Reese Walsh homesick. What are your thoughts on this whole situation that's been going on?
Exactly, Nick. At the moment, this is all rumors, so just take this with a grain of salt. But there's another rumor going around about the Warriors that hit Lake DeSavo that Matt Lodge might be signing with the Redcliffe Dolphins as well. With reports now over the past 24 odd hours that Reese Walsh and Matt Lodge might be joining the Dolphins, it leaves the Warriors once again in a bit of a state of unknown. And my bottom line is that this all could be bogus and I could be proven wrong, right? But the other version, the flip side of that coin, is that my bottom line is that I'm a bit concerned for the Warriors this season. Listen to these words. Reese Walsh has already allegedly indicated that he is homesick and doesn't see himself beyond 23 or even this season. Reese Walsh kind of owes the Warriors, and if this is true, what's been leaked, it's half a slap to the face, especially after he got done the other month. And they're playing in Redcliffe. The New Zealand Warriors are playing in Redcliffe for at least until June. I think that's fair to say. If you're 19 years of age and you want to take that next step into your career, I would imagine Reese Walsh would be chomping at the bit to go play in front of those fans in Auckland. What an amazing... He'll get it. He'll do it by this year, I have no doubt. But I think Reese Walsh, if this is true, man, I think it's a bit of a slap to the Warriors, and I'm fearing for the Warriors in the next couple of years. Like we've all said, the Warriors' watershed year is this season, and it's looking wobbly at the moment, man, I must say, especially that Matt Lodge has been in the press for the past month or two now about potentially leaving, man. So thank you for letting me take the floor there. That's what I think about the Warriors. And it's funny because only a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have said that. I would have said, look, I don't see them in my top 8, but I'd see them potentially. But now there's just these little snippets of unrest, and it puts them in a state of unknown for me, bro.
I have something very controversial to say, and it's going to piss off a lot of people, so I'm going to hold off for just a second. ProEnzo Vidz, what are your thoughts on Reese Walsh? Apparently, allegedly, could all be bullshit. Apparently, he's homesick, but he's been in Queensland since the bubble happened. Apparently, he's homesick, which I find very hard to believe. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? He could move back to the Dolphins, or he could go back to the Broncos. He could go to the Dolphins. Who knows? What are your thoughts on this whole Reese Walsh situation?
Yeah, well, just to say, so far I think it's rumors. Like I don't really think it all true. I think it could be even just a journalist being bored in the off season, just posting stuff like that, or it could be legit. But I mean, if it was to be real, it is a bit slack for the Warriors, especially. I mean, he signed there for a reason. If he signed the Warriors, he would have known if he going back to all that. I don't like from the start. So. It's a bit silly if you sign the Warriors knowing that would be what would happen. But again, if he is homesick, then I guess it's fair enough because obviously he wants to settle in Queensland with a young family and everything. But again, it is going to be kind of a bit fucked for the Warriors if that's the case. I think Walsh doing that would be really a kick in the guts, especially to that club. So. Hopefully it's not true for the Warriors fans, but if it is, it's very worrying, especially, with Lodge probably going to the Dolphins now and everything. It's going to, those sort of headlines definitely could affect this season a bit as well, with all the talk, outside talk. So, I mean, it's a bit worrying.
Oh, boy. I have something big to say about this, and this is going to, This is really going to piss some of the Warriors fans off. So if you have your volume turned up, if your earphones in right now, I recommend that you turn the volume down just a little bit because I've got something to say and it's going to get me pretty heated. So get ready. So the Warriors are on the verge of losing Reese Walsh, right? And they're on the verge of potentially losing Matt Lodge as well. And maybe even Chanel Harris-Tavita. This is not Reese Walsh's fault. This is not Matt Lodge's fault. This is not Chanel Harris Tavita's fault. You know whose fault this is? This is the fucking Warriors' fault. This is why the New Zealand Warriors are a failed club. This is why they've never won a premiership. This is why that their entire existence so far has been an utter, complete failure. The New Zealand Warriors are so fucking stupid, right? So they have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck there for so many years. They're trying to build pieces around Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and they only got to the finals once, and they did fuck all in that game against Penrith in 2018. They haven't done anything since then. So with the Warriors, so you mean to tell me you're going to let go of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, you're going to allow him to go to rugby union, but you're going to put your entire faith in an 18-year-old kid? That is such smart business, isn't it? That is smart. You fucking clowns. This is why the Warriors are a shit club. They are run so poorly. Cameron George is a fucking clown. Nathan Brown is a fucking dickhead as well. This is why the Warriors will never do anything. They are just like the Titans. Consistency is not there. Winning big games is never there. Winning tight games is never there. The Warriors have proven to me once again why they are a failure of a club. Cameron George needs to go. Nathan Brown is a fucking idiot as well. They put all their trust in Roger Tuivasa-Sheck the last 5 years. They tried to build pieces around him. And when they did get pieces around him, at one point they had a spine of RTS, Kieran Foran, Sean Johnson, and fucking Isaac. How that team did not go any good is beyond me. But look, I love the Warriors. I want them to win a premiership in the near future. I'm sick and tired of seeing them fail after year. But I am so sick and tired of seeing this club do some of the most dumbest decisions I've ever seen. So how dumb is it to have RTS on $1 million a season, your big name player, the man that you put all your faith in, you let him go to rugby union, you tried not to, you could have begged him to stay, but they wanted to let him go, and they put all their faith in an 18-year-old kid and Reese Walsh, who hasn't even fully developed yet. They put their faith in a fucking rookie, and he got caught taking cocaine in fucking November. This is why the Warriors are a dumb fucking run club. This is why they'll never win anything, because they do this shit. They get rid of an experienced New Zealand fullback for a fucking 18-year-old rookie. Ridiculous. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you put all your faith, you put all your eggs in the basket on a fucking rookie, you are set up for a disaster and a failure of a season. You don't do it. So if the Warriors have a bad year now because of all this drama and all this shit that they keep going on about, Matt Lodge and the talk rumors again of getting moved on, it's just a complete circus with the Warriors, a complete fucking merry-go-round. Nothing ever changes for the Warriors. And people are going to say, oh, but they haven't been in New Zealand for 2.5 years now. Well, guess what? That's not the NRL's fault. That's the Border's fault. If the NRL could take the Warriors to New Zealand right now, they'd fucking do it. They would fucking do it. They'd give them first class. They'd give them some fucking beautiful fruit. Maybe a nice fucking buffalo feed on the way there. But until the Warriors learn to put their faith in players and learn how to fucking become a consistent run club, they are going to continue to be a failure until that happens. And they bought Ash Taylor as well. Even fucking worse. Even fucking worse. So, New Zealand Warriors in 2022, I said it a few weeks ago, and I'll continue to say it. They're going to win the wooden spoon. Sorry, Warriors, but they're fucked.
Nick, man, that was intense, man. And look, I don't think anyone can be too harsh of a critic on your opinion there. I thought you were harsh but fair, man, honestly. And I think ProEnzo said it as well. Look, if the bloke's homesick, what else can you do, man? Like, if he feels like he's made a mistake, go back to the state of Queensland and go have the career that you dream of having, man. But yeah, I haven't said this out loud all off season, and just with all the news that's dropped over the past 24, 48 hours, allegedly, remember, I'm kind of fearful, man, about the Warriors this season, bro. So, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope they do well and even make the top 8. I honestly want them to do that. But just at the moment, there's a bit of a dark cloud over them.
And this bullshit about Reese Walsh being homesick. How the fuck can you be homesick when you've been playing in Queensland pretty much all of last year?
That's my point that I was trying to make. And now he's going to be playing at Redcliffe until June, pretty much. So, yeah.
I'm not here to bag the Warriors, but it's the harsh truth. And no one else is going to have the balls to say what I just said, because everyone else who does content on YouTube likes to kiss ass and get big name people on their shows. I like to tell the truth and tell it how it is. And the sad part about the Warriors is it's how they've been going. It's what's been happening at the Warriors. And I know everyone in the chat's got the shits about maybe having them for the wooden spoon. We'll get this right. So they're away from New Zealand. Nathan Brown's not the right man for the job. He's not fit to be the Warriors head coach. Nathan Brown has not led an NRL team in the NRL to a finals run since 2006. So that's a concern right there. And also, I think the Warriors mentally are not strong enough. I think they're mentally weak. Taylor's a judge of a signing. Now, Hooker is a question. They've got a rookie. At fullback, he's a good kid, but I don't give a fuck if you have one good season. One good season does not make you a superstar in this league. I don't care what anyone says. So, the Warriors, I think they're going to have a really dog shit season this year. Everyone will disagree, but hey, when the Warriors do win the wooden spoon this year, everyone can send me some vodka and it'll be all fun. Be good
Let's
fun.
move on, man. Let's move on, bro. I think we've hit the nail on the head.
Otherwise, I'll be on the Warriors all night. All right. Let's move on to the next topic now, which is something that's quite interesting here. Patrick Herbert. Now, I read this the other day, and I'm gonna be blatant honest with you guys. I bursted out laughing when I read this. So Patrick Herbert claims to have moved on from the botch moment in the elimination final against the Sydney Roosters in last year's elimination final. So, in case you guys don't remember, the Roosters were up 25-24. Both Thermal made a break down the left-hand side. Titans went right-hand side. Patrick Herbert, all he had to do was either bring Fafita under and Fafita scores to win the game, or he passes the ball to Corey Thompson and the Titans win 28-25 or something like that. Patrick Herbert apparently has come out and said he's copped it, and he's moved on from it, and apparently he's moved on from that bad moment, big moment in the elimination final against the Roosters last year. I want to start with you, ProEnzo Vidz. Do you think Patrick Herbert has moved on from this this big moment from last year, or do you think mentally it'll take a bit longer than 5 months to get over this? What are your thoughts on this, bro?
I mean, look, if I was him, obviously you would want to move on from it, but I can't see how he can just yet, because when you think about it, that was the Titans' first final series since 2016, and obviously it's pretty big, and and all you had to do was pass the ball. If he passed it, then they would have won the game probably, and and for him to make that mistake, which was obviously an accident, but I guess making that mistake in a game like that in the finals, that's obviously going to be in the back of his head for a long time. You can't just forget about that and just not think about it for a while again, because it's always going to be there. It's part of history now. He's not going to forget it. So I can't really see how he's moved on from it, but I guess the best thing is he probably would want to, and I hope he has, but. It's not that easy. I don't think it's that easy to move on.
It'll take time to move on.
Yep.
What about you, Sam? What do you think about this? Has he moved on, or do you reckon it'll take a bit longer to move on?
I think any football player would have given that sort of answer. He said he's copped it and he's moving on. That's the number one thing he should do. He has allegedly done. He's trying to do. But I mean, deep down, man. It's got to be still killing him. I mean, Ben Hunt, I know it's a different scale, but Ben Hunt took him bloody 6 years to sort of get over the 2015 grand finals. So, and it's only been 5 months for Herbert. So, look, good on him. Keep a positive mind frame, but boy, howdy, it's got to be eating away at him all year, man.
I genuinely believe that Patrick Herbert's botch moment in the elimination final last year, where he didn't pass the ball to Corey Thompson to win the game, is literally a very similar situation to the 2015 grand final, where Ben Hunt dropped the ball, and it took Ben Hunt, I'd say, 3 years at least to literally get over it. It took him a long time. I think 2021 was probably the best year of Ben Hunt's career since 2015. I genuinely believe that Patrick Herbert hasn't moved on. I think what you said, Sam, is about right. I think it's a typical thing to say. Players are gonna say, yeah, we moved on from it, no problem. No, they haven't. I think deep down it really, really did hurt Herbert mentally. I think it's really rocked him. And there is no way in the world that he's moved on from it, because it only happened. It only happened about 5 months ago. Look, he is the reason the Titans didn't win. If he passes the ball to Thompson, or if he brings it inside the Fafita, the Titans win, and they play Manly in the elimination final. And if he doesn't pass it, they lose, and he didn't pass it. And I think that's going to really hurt them a lot. And if the Titans have a shit season this year, which it could happen, they could have a bad year this year. The Titans, if they have a bad year. If Patrick Herbert has a bad game, he's just going to go back to that moment. It's really going to hurt him.
Can I just give like a sort of like a backhanded sort of bit of defense for Patrick Herbert? Is that that play would have gotten them the win, but as a team collectively, as a game, man, besides the final few moments, the Titans were very poor in their ball handling, man. It was a pretty low sort of quality effort. I mean, they gave it 100% effort, but it was still, like, as far as skill goes, man, it was down on the lower end of the scale, bro. They were very poor that night in Townsville.
I just want to time out. I've been reading the chat for about 5 minutes now, and I see it's getting a bit out of hand. I think Warriors NRL fanatics and Faraz are getting into a bit of a disagreement over something about the Warriors. Look, lads, this is the Rugby Breakdown podcast. I want you guys to be in the chat, and you guys can disagree, no problem, but don't let it get any further than that. I don't want people to be getting upset and getting a little bit annoyed about that. So everyone in the live chat that is getting into an argument, everyone, please calm down. This is the podcast. I know we're 44 days away till the season starts. We're all putting out some predictions at the moment, and it's like one thing we say, it seems like it's the end of the world for some people, but everyone needs to chill. Chill, boys. Chill. Come on, man. The Super League's in 17, 18 days away. Everyone needs to just relax.
I have a chub. I'm so excited. We're so close.
Too. I can't wait as well. I wish it would hurry the fuck up. Wish it would hurry up. It's taking too long. NRL's not far away, guys. All-Star Game's only about 4 weeks away as well, so everyone relax. 3 weeks or whatever it is. Not far now. Yeah. All right. Anything else we want to talk about is Patrick Herbert's situation from last year? Because apparently he's moved on. I don't believe he's moved on, personally. All right. I want to actually go.
Let's move on to
Sam, yes or no? Has he moved on, or do you reckon no, not yet?
No, but I hope he, No, I don't think he has.
Sam, Lorenzo, sorry, what do you reckon?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it'll take a long time to move on from that. All right. Let's move on to this one. Now, this is a topic that I'm really keen to go on about. Who are the top 5 NRL players going into season 2022? I would like an order from 5 to 1. It can be any position. Obviously, all positions are included, from fullback, wing, center, 5'8", halfback, front row, hooker, second row, lock. I want your top 5 NRL players going into season 2022. Also, guys, this does not have to be 2021 form. In your opinion, right now, the top 5 going into this season. I want to start with you, ProEnzo Vidz. Who would you have in your top 5? From 5 to 1, my friend.
All right. Well, number 5, I've got Matt Burden. Number 4, I have James Todesco. Number 3, I have Nathan Cleary. Number 2, I will put Jerome Hughes up there. And number 1, I've got Tom Trevoyevich.
Okay, so that's your list. We are going to question you with these as well. Okay, Matt Burton. Yep. I'd love to know your reasoning behind that.
Yeah, well, look, last year was great for Penrith, I thought, playing out of position and, scored heaps of tries and was obviously a big part of them having a lot of success. I know he comes into a Bulldogs team that's struggling and, Obviously will take a bit of time to gel with everything, but I think what he did last year will definitely benefit the way they might play the Bulldogs, and I think he's going to add something to that side. I just think personally, I think I like him coming to this year. I think he's going to be a good buy, and I can see a big season from him personally.
All right, so you had Matt Burton at 5. Number 4, who was your number 4? I'm trying to remember what you said because you said it so quick. Who'd you say?
Todesco.
Oh, Todesco at 4? Really? Wow. Why is that so low for Teddy?
Look, he had to be in the top 5 somewhere, so I just thought maybe number 4. He'll still have a strong season, and I think he'll go pretty well like he always does.
And I think number 3, you had Nathan Cleary, and then you had Jerome Hughes. Okay, I'd love to know, why do you have Jerome Hughes over Nathan Cleary?
Well, I think because Melbourne are going to have the better year, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying right now. I think they'll have the better year. And I think Hughes, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I think Jerome Hughes will win the Daily M. I'm going to have him right up there if that's the case. So I think he's in for a big season. Jerome Hughes, he's always been he's up there now with some of the best backs in the game. He's a great player. So I can see him having a bigger year.
Absolutely. Number 1, Tommy Turbo, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty obvious.
Yeah, Tommy Turbo, pretty obvious there. All right, Sam, your top 5, mate, from 5 to 1. It's tough, but what would you have, my friend?
Number 5, Cameron McInnes. I thought he was in such great form. He unfortunately had all of last year out. It would be interesting to see how he hits the ground running as soon as the season starts. I hope nothing but good things for him because I think he's a tremendous footballer, bro. So Cameron McInnes in at number 5. My number 4 is Joseph Sawali. Let's not forget that he is on $1 million and he got injured halfway through the season and he showed good bits and pieces here and there in the games that he played, in particular the one against Canberra in Gosford. Joseph Sawali, he came into the NRL with a whole lot of hype and controversy around him. And I'd like to see him have a better season. I think he would like a better season as well in 2022. And at number 3, I'm going to have James Todesco. I think whilst everyone knows how good of a player he is, I still think in some corners, man, people say that he had a bit of an underrated season last year. I think his leadership, his captaincy, everything, his support play was sensational. And James Todesco is going to have a great 2022 with all the weapons that are coming back into the eastern suburbs. At number 2, I'm going to have Tom Trevoyevich. He is the Dally M Player of the Year. He took the NRL world by storm. And I think he's going to, if Manly, I'm going to have a bit of a prediction here. If Manly win their first 3 games, I'm going to pencil Manly in for the 2022 grand final. I think Tom Trevoyevich is going to have a great season. And my number 1 pick, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, is going to lead the charge for North Queensland, and they're going to make the top 8 off of a sensational year from Mr. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. Therefore, North Queensland are going to sign him up to a $60 million contract, a big NFL contract, because that's what he deserves, and that's how much North Queensland need him next season. To be successful, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow is going to have a sensational year, go back in Origin, and he's my number 1 player to watch next season, bro. He's my number 1 player to watch next season.
Have you been drinking, Sam?
A little bit.
Joseph Sawali. All I can say to that is, what the fuck?
He's on $1 million. That's a huge chunk of their space, man. And if you're not living up to that, bro, with all the hype and controversy he brought in, then, bro, you got to start looking elsewhere. So he's on $1 million, man.
Everyone at the Roosters is on $1 million. The brown paper bags, and some bear. All right, very, very creative list. Definitely one I did not expect, but very, very creative from you, Sam. Right, my top 5 NRL players going into season 2022. Number 5, I am going to go with the best 5'8" in the game, and that is Cody Walker. Cody Walker is one of the best players in the world. I think he's an elite player. I thought last year he was on court. He was just out of this world last year. I thought Cody Walker last year was a bit like Jared Hayne in 2009. Thought he was just out of this world last year, Cody Walker. He's my number 5, and I think going into this year, Cody Walker will have a bit more of a what can I say? A bit more of an important role to play with Souths now, with Reynolds not being there now. So number 5, I've gone with is Cody Walker. Number 4, I'm going to go with someone a bit different here. I'm going to go with the Roosters halfback, 5'8", Luke Keary. Luke Keary's back from injury. Luke Keary, we all know how good Luke Keary is of a player. When he's fit, he's won 3 premierships already. 2 with the Roosters, 1 with Souths. We all know how good Keary is on his day. He's an elite halfback of 5'8". Doesn't really matter with which one he plays. He's a brilliant player at both. And I think him and Crichton or Tupanui are going to build another great combination this year with Joey Marnie there as well. So number 4, Luke Keary. Number 3, I have gone with James Todesco. Obviously, James Todesco, one of the world's best players. We all know what a quality player he is. We all know how elite he is. And James Todesco, with that Roosters team, looking at it on paper right now, it is absolutely frightening what Todesco can do this year with that side. So number 3 is the classy, brilliant James Todesco. Number 2, I've gone with the Panthers elite halfback, Nathan Cleary. A couple of years ago, I was Nathan Cleary's biggest critic. Now he's proven me wrong, and Nathan Cleary is a world-class halfback. He is the best halfback in the world. Some would say he's the best player in the world, but I think he's just number 2 at the moment. I think he's the best halfback in the game. Nathan Cleary is my number 2. And number 1, in my opinion, the best player in the world. I don't think anyone is on his level at the moment, and that is Tom Trevoyevich. I believe he is the man. He has the keys to the kingdom for the Seagulls going forward this year, and I think Tom Trevoyevich is the best player in the world. So Tommy Turbo is my number 1. He is the best player going into this year. You guys want to ask me any reason why I have anyone in my top 5? Any questions on that?
Mate, no, smooth as ice, man. Crystal clear.
No,
I'll tell you someone.
Fair list.
I'll tell you someone who went really close to my top 5, and that's Ryan Papenhuyzen. Papenhuyzen went very close to my top 5. I think Papenhuyzen this year is going to be brilliant, and if anyone here has caught up on Supercoach came out today with the teams and stuff. Anyone who plays it, Papenhuyzen's a good one to get for Supercoach as well. So if anyone here does Supercoach, Papenhuyzen's definitely a bloke to look at for Supercoach. But my top 5. Is there anyone on your top 5, boys, that you were close to having in your top 5? ProEnzo, Vidz?
Yeah, Cody Walker. I think he was pretty close. I mean, thinking about it now, I might have him over Burden now, but yeah, he goes very close.
Well, you, Sam, did anyone go real close to your top 5?
There was Papenhuyzen up there, and the other one was Payne Haas, mate.
Yes.
Big Haasy, mate. So I hope he has a good season, not against the Cowboys, but yeah, I hope he has a good season.
Absolutely. Well, while we're on the topic of top 5s, I want to ask you guys this out of the blue. Who do you think are the top 3 coaches going into this year? Obviously, it's easy to say. It's easy to say Robbo and Bellamy, but is there anyone besides those 2 that you reckon could be in the conversation going into this year?
Okay. So Ivan Cleary, Des Hasler, and bro, I think Trent Barrett's got that spotlight on him so much this year. He's going to feel the heat. He's not top 3 best, man, but as so far as who's going to gain the most attraction, oh man, he's got so much pressure on him this season, Trent Barrett.
Yeah. ProEnzo, Vidz, what do you reckon, bro?
Look, it has to be the same. I think Des and Cleary would be up there. Even another coach, like I think I think, if Broncos are to do anything this year, then I think Kevin Walters would have to be a big part of the reasoning why they go well this year. So I guess he's around that conversation as well. I don't know if he's top 3, but would be around that sort of area. Broncos do anything this year.
I'll tell you a coach that I think has been very underrated for a while now, and everyone knows I hate this team, but I got to say, man, Justin Holbrook from the Gold Coast Titans.
Yep.
Man, Justin Holbrook, what he's been able to do there for the last 2 years has been very good. I question them moving on Fogarty, though, and just going with a young halfback from Queensland Cup. I do question that, but I think Justin Holbrook has been pretty underrated for a while now. He did a great job over in the Super League with St. Helens, won them a grand final, came over here, did a very good job in his first year. He got the Titans to 9th. I think it was 2020. I think the Titans won the last 5 or 6 games, and they only missed the 8 by a game or 2. And then this year, the Titans only got in by default. It was a very fluky year for them. They won 10 games and they got into the top 8. But I think Justin Holbrook has done a really good job with that squad. He's built Isaac Liu's. Isaac Liu's going up there now. He was able to get David Fafita to go there. He was able to get Tino.
Yep.
And now he's he's building some decent players up there. The development of Jamin Jolliffe as well. He's getting better. I think Bo Fermal's getting better. Even Moe Fodawaker, he's an Origin player now as well. Jared Wallace seems to be back at his best as well. So I've got to say, as much as I bag the Titans, and I generally can't stand them, he has done very well with some of these forwards who were guys like Jared Wallace. They were going nowhere 2 years ago. They were going absolutely nowhere 2 years ago, and I just think someone like Corey Thompson, again, he's very underrated as well. So, fair play to him, I got to say. Fair play to him.
I agree with that, man. I don't think Fafita and Faisal Malawi signed with the Titans if Holbrook wasn't as good of a coach as he is.
I agree.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I agree with you there. ProEnzo,
look out for Campbell as well.
What's that?
Yeah.
No, I said look out for Campbell as well.
Yep.
Look out for Canberra. Oh, Campbell.
Yep.
Campbell, yes. Jaden Campbell, yes, definitely. Before we get on out of here, while we're on the topic of coaches right now, top 2 most overrated coaches going into this year. Overrated. Now, I know one guy who I'm going to say for sure, but who are the 2 most overrated coaches in the league right now?
That's tough. I need to think about that one.
Todd Payton.
I can answer that for you, Lorenzo, because while I said Trent Barrett before, he's still overrated as well. That's how much pressure he's got on him. So Trent Barrett would be one of the coaches that is overrated currently, and another coach that, based off of last year, Todd Payton might be a little bit overrated too. There, bro. I'm
gonna go. I'm gonna go with Todd Payton. And I'm going to go with Michael Maguire.
I was going to say, Mage, yeah.
Michael Maguire hasn't done anything for a long time, and it's taken him a very long time to build the Tigers up, and they still haven't really been fully built up properly. So I'd have to say the West Tigers and the Cowboys have probably got the 2 most overrated coaches at the moment. But, fellas, I reckon that might do it for the Rugby.
No way! I'm not letting you get away that easily, Nick. Hell no! Brendan Elliott, he signed today.
How could I forget?
Please, can I have your opinion on that, please, good sir?
How could I forget? How rude of me.
And how can we not talk about him when his best football was played at Manly? Oh, we've got Lorenzo here who can tell us how good he really was. Let's talk about this because I'm excited about this signing, man.
How could I forget about Brendan Elliott? I had it on the screen in my notes as well. Didn't even fucking remember it. Unbelievable. All right. Cowboys have picked up Brendan Elliott on a 1-year deal. Sam, we'll start with you, mate. Obviously, I saw your video earlier today, but tell us, why do you rate the signing of Brendan Elliott so highly?
There have been a couple of comments that I've seen online that have compared him to Michael Barney. compared
What?
Brendan Elliott to a lump of coal. Like, Brendan Elliott's 2019 season was outstanding for Manly. Maybe that's a bit over the top, maybe.
No, it's
but
true.
he was really good. And we...
Yeah.
no, sorry, I don't speak on behalf of all of North Queensland. But for me personally, I've been saying, look, we need forwards. But I just said to you the other night, I wouldn't mind a good centre or a good brand new backline person. And Brendan Elliott, whilst completely random, mind you, is a great fit for that slot. He's coming in potentially on the cheap. And he does his job, man. Everything that I remember of Brendan Elliott is that he gets the job done 8 times out of 10. He does have the odd drop game here and there, but he's solid for the most part, man. And I want to pose a question to you, good sir, off the cuff. Maybe you know what I'm going to ask. So he plays on Murray Tuolangi's wing. Would there be a stage at all in the early portion of the season where you swap Murray Tuolangi out for Brendan Elliott and have him partner Valentine Holmes?
No.
No?
Hell
I think
no.
it would not be a bad test. I wouldn't mind seeing it, man.
I'm going to say this once. I am happy that we signed Brendan Elliott. He's pretty much replacing David Bowen because he retired. It's pretty much the reason why we got another outside back, because we needed to get someone with David Bowen retiring. I'm happy that we got Brendan Elliott. I think he's a great great depth signing. I think he'll be probably backup. I think he'll come in for injuries and suspensions and COVID dramas, which I know will happen this year. But he can play wing, fullback, wing, and center. But he's not as big of a signing that I'd want him to be. But I think he'll be good for depth. Good depth signing.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My take on it's going to be pretty big. Just want to say, just don't expect anything amazing from Elliott. Like, don't expect him to do anything remarkable. Just expect him to do his job. He gives 100%. When he was at Manly, he always did a job, always defended really well as well. Like, his defense is actually one of the best things about his game. He's always defending really well, rarely misses any tackles. So he will do a job for you, lads. Like, I really think he will. So it's a good pick up.
So, Sam, you would start Brendan Elliott in round 1, would you?
No, I'd start him in the trial match against South Sydney in the next couple of weeks, Nick. I don't know if I'd do it in round 1. I think Murray Tuolangi has earned his spot. He was the player's player of last year as well, man. So, yeah, I think he's got that spot just on lockdown, bro. But I really wouldn't mind seeing. I really want to see him. I really want to see him in the early part of the season.
Have you been watching Brendan Elliott highlights or something, Sam? You seem really excited.
No, I am, man. I think this is a pretty good signing for North Queensland, bro. This is pretty cool.
I'll tell you what. It's better than that fucking Connolly Lamelu. Fuck him. It's better than when we had Opacek, or should I say, Tom Opashit. And to that, whoever that guy on is trying to compare him to Michael Barney. Who the fuck's that?
Just a comment that I saw online today.
What was his name?
I can't remember.
Well, his name was Cockhead Dumbass. We will go by that. So on social media, there's this guy named Cockhead Dumbass.
Watch out for him.
Watch out for him. I tell you, he is absolutely out of control.
Michael Barney's just sitting down listening to us right now, and he's just falling off his seat. You can't believe we're talking negatively about him.
I believe we got BKR Sports in the live chat.
Oh, sweet dude.
Hey, Nick, how's that Titans tattoo coming along? It's scheduled for the end of the week. That's all I'm going to say on it. It's
okay.
Terrible news. It's scheduled for the end of the week.
Well, mate, I've got some competition from you now, man. You've got your intro. I was voted Rugby League history's best intro for 2021, and now you're coming for my title. I'm going to make sure you don't get it. I'm going back to back, you bitch. I'm gonna beat you this year. Bring it.
You sanctimonious son of a bitch. You bastard. I was robbed from that last
No
year.
way.
Absolutely
No way.
robbed. My intro was very, very, very entertaining.
You didn't even have an intro last year. You just started live, didn't you?
Yeah, and I started doing the music, the intro, and everyone
Yeah,
was
I know,
pumped.
I know.
I had the Coke going, Coca-Cola, skull that real quick. BKR said, is it actually? I was just joking. Yes, it's scheduled for Friday night. If it doesn't happen, it'll be scheduled for next week. So it'll be happening in the next 2 weeks, put it that way. Don't want to talk about it. It's going to be very depressing, I'll tell you right now. Very depressing. Terrible news. You're talking about your intro being number one. What about ProEnzo Vidz's intros? The fucking, at the start where it goes
Oh, yeah.
with the loading thing.
But he didn't win it, though, did he?
Very
You
good.
didn't win it, bro. Did
Yeah,
you,
well,
bro?
it was fucking bullshit. Absolute
I walked away
bullshit.
with that one,
Yeah,
bro.
this year.
Bring it.
Yeah, watch this year, Will. This year.
Watch this space.
Bring it, yeah. Bet. This year, Will.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
There should be like
at
a
the end of the
case
year.
of beer or something on the line, lads. Make
Well,
things interesting.
I've already put on some very big bets so far this year. I made a bet.
Bro, you owe Lorenzo a scarf already.
No.
You owe him a scarf already,
This
man.
is the bet, right? So last year,
Holy.
I had a bet with the Titans. I said if they make the 8, I will get a Titans tattoo. That is happening. Scheduled for Friday. If it doesn't happen Friday, it'll be happening by Tuesday. So it'll be scheduled before the end of the month. Anyway, I made a bet with, I think it was Joe from Queensland, up the South supporter. I said if Souths make the top 4, I will get him a Souths jersey. So Souths are not making top 4. I made a bet with Lorenzo the other night on the late night show. I said if Canberra win 10 games, or no, was it? Yeah, if Canberra.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
I said if Canberra win less than 10 games, I will get Lorenzo a Manly scarf. So I've already put the bets on it.
No, if Canberra win 10 or more games, then you hand over a scarf to Lorenzo.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah. And here we go. A bet in the live chat from our good friend BKR Sports. Here we go. He says, Nick, a bet between us. Carton of beer for whoever finishes high between Titans and Cowboys. Deal. I'll tell you what. BKR, you are on. Handshake deal over the phone or over the bloody live stream. I know you're in Fiji right now. This is a little fucking handshake over the fucking social or whatever over the live stream. If whoever finishes high between Titans and Cowboys, the loser has to give that other person a carton of beer. Done deal. Lock it in. I'm going to go fucking broke by the end of the year, boys. I'm going to have no fucking money left. Fuck. Well, actually, if I'm being honest with you guys right now, Titans and Cowboys, I'm not expecting much from either side. I think Cowboys are going to be probably, I don't know, not in the top 8, but not in the bottom 4. And
That's
Titans, I've got them, I don't even know where I got the Titans, but I think they're going to be pretty similar. So I don't know where I've got either side right now. I've got some big bets on, but I'll tell you what, I'm very confident with the Canberra one. Canberra will not win 10 games this year. They will not win 10 games.
Mate, if that happens, bro, Ricky Stewart's out the door. Out the door.
Yeah, he's out the door, right? Oh, you know what? Fuck it.
Well,
Since we're making bets right now and predictions, I'll give you another prediction right now. The Tigers will not be in the bottom 4.
No, I can't agree with that. I can't.
West Tigers will avoid bottom 4. Hang on. You know what? Give me a minute. I'm going to get a pen and paper. I'm going to start writing this shit down. Give me 1 second. It's going on the wall. It's going on the fucking wall.
Nick has the plans already.
It's all going on the wall.
Alrighty.
It's all going on the wall. This is all happening. Give me
Well,
1
I'm
minute.
not bloody having any bloody bets.
Give me 1 sec. I'm writing this shit down.
Okay. Well,
Good idea, actually.
Chat, thank you all for tuning in once again. Nick's going to go get some pen and paper. BKR, man, I've never actually spoken to you online before. Thank you for tuning in, good sir, all the way from Fiji.
All right, here we go.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
we
Just
go.
trying to feel dead air.
Hang on, let me get my
Yeah,
book.
thanks, chat. Thank you, chat.
There we go. I just kicked my fucking toe on the edge of the bed too. Even better. Right. This is going on the wall. Right. It's going to go in blue as well. So here we go. Let me write this down. The Raiders won't
win over 10 games.
Won't win.
Will.
I can't even fucking write on here. Raiders won't
Just
win 10 games in 2022.
IO were tight.
That's the first one.
IO
First
Lorenzo.
prediction.
That will happen.
Righto. Second prediction. Yeah, Rabbitohs will not make the top 4.
Well, CJ's just fallen off his fucking chair. Jesus.
CJ's going out to the fucking forest and he ain't coming back. He's going out there. Rabbitohs won't make top 4. Right. What else should I put? Oh, here we go. The West Tigers will not be in the bottom 4.
Yeah, write that down too, yeah.
West Tigers will avoid. Hang on. West Tigers will. Hang on. My fucking typing is terrible on this fucking thing. They will avoid bottom 4.
The bet with BKR.
Cowboys. Hang on. What the fuck was the bet? Cowboys. What was it?
If Titans finish above North Queensland by the end of the year, you owe BKR some bevies.
Done. If Titans, fuck's sake, man. My spelling is atrocious, I'm telling you. Titans will not finish higher than Cowboys. I'm just going to write that.
Just in breaking news, I think the Australian of the Year just got announced as well. It was Stephen, the wheelchair tennis player, I think.
If it's not me, it ain't important.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, man.
Titans will not finish higher than Cowboys. Right. All right, we've got 4 predictions down here so far. Oh, the New Zealand Warriors will win the wooden spoon. Guarantee it. I'm guaranteeing it. Hang on. Fuck this. Hang on. Fuck this banner off. Get this off. The New Zealand Warriors will win the wooden spoon. Writing it down. New Zealand Warriors will come last. Right. Lots of predictions going off here. Lots of predictions.
Who said that? Who said Cowboys are getting the spoon just then? I saw that. Who said that? Oh, goddamn.
So missed the 8. That's not going to happen. What the fuck?
Okay, put your money where your mouth is. Name your price now. I'm going broke already. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going to have Christmas at the end of the year. I'm going to have fucking cold food on the fucking street. That's my Christmas in December. All right, Sam, I want one bold prediction from you. Hang on, I'm going to write it down here on the paper. It's going on the wall. Sam, bold prediction.
Cowboys to make the 8.
Love it. Sam, bold prediction. Cowboys, top 8.
I'd be so happy.
Lorenzo, one prediction from you, my friend.
Manly to make the grand final.
Oh!
Let's go.
Going bold.
Lorenzo, Manly to make...
It's
bold and realistic.
Bold. Exactly. So it's a chance.
Well, they've made a grand final since 2013, so it makes sense.
Yeah, we're due.
Here we go. These are the predictions. My spelling is god awful. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about the writing. This is going on the wall. Live
That's
on
all right,
YouTube.
mate.
Going on the wall. Righto. All right. So this is what we got, fellas. Nick from Australia on January 25th. Raiders won't win 10 games in 2022. South Sydney Rabbitohs won't make the top 4 in 2022. West Tigers will avoid bottom 4. Titans will not finish higher than the Cowboys. in 2022. If the Titans finish higher, Nick from Australia has to get BKR a case of beer. New Zealand Warriors will come last in 2022. Sam Revill says Cowboys will make the top 8, and ProEnzo Vidz Manly to make the grand final. Let me put this on the wall. Get some sticky tape right here. It's going on the wall. Give me 1 sec. It's all going on the wall.
This is sensational, man. This is
going on the wall.
This is awesome.
I want to give a shout out to BKR. BKR's got me into this. BKR was like, we're going to make the bet. He's the reason why I started doing this. He got me in the mood for it. So, shout out to BKR. Hope you're doing well, bro. All right. Let me get this fucking tape here.
You were about to finish the show too, Nick, weren't you, eh? We're
Yeah.
still here bloody 15 minutes later.
I was going to finish it at the 50th minute mark.
I'll just put you in the red.
For some reason, this tape doesn't want to fucking come loose. Piece of shit. Anyway, it's going on the wall. It's going on the wall. One way or another, it's going on the wall.
And you'll have to add to it, mate.
Right.
You'll have to add to it, mate, because you and I haven't had a bet yet, bro. And we'll discuss that later on.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to get this tape open. It's the fucking bitch.
When the
Doesn't
season
wanna
starts, Nick and I are gonna have a bet. We're gonna figure something out.
Sounds good.
Hang on. Here we go. There it is. There, look, it's on the wall. Hang on, lads. There it is. It's on the wall. I'll try and zoom in for you fellas. Hang on, let me get the microphone here. There we go.
So it'll be there every video then.
It'll be there until I say it's there. I might even take it off and just update it just so it's a bit more clearer, but you guys can see it right behind me. Hang on. There it is.
That's cool.
It's on the
That's
wall.
sick. That's sick.
It's going to be the wall of predictions. I might even fucking put them in that corner and just like the wall of predictions for 2022.
You'd have to stop
Alright.
doing that at like round 10 or something, man, before you go too deep. I don't know. Anyway.
We'll see. We'll see how we go. We'll see. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year. And all right, I reckon that might do it now. I think we've had a lot of fun here tonight. It's been really
Mate,
good
that
fun.
was awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me again, Lorenzo. You're a legend as always, chat. Thank you so much as well. It's been fucking awesome as always, bro. Thank you.
I can see Jacko here is a little bit upset about me having the Warriors come last. Sorry, bro. It's an opinion. Don't take it to heart. It's just a prediction. It's not a spoiler. We'll soon find out, though, at the end of the year. But anyway, guys, that's it for the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, episode number 34. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And you guys can, before I get on out of here, if you missed the new intro, you guys can check it out. And we are out of here. Have a good night. We are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4,